Evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here with Patrick. He is an interesting YouTuber, right? I'm subscribed to his channel, and we're going to be talking about who he is and what he does, and also a little bit about how the government lies to you and why it's a great time to buy. And if you're interested in that, you're going to see, just click on the links below. You're going to see the timestamps for that information. And so, without further ado, Patrick, how are you doing today?
Doing a fantastic, Davinci. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone from Davinci's channel. The channel's bigger than mine, so a lot of you guys probably have no idea who I am. Hi, my name is Patrick. It's nice to meet you guys. But yeah, I'm excited to go over the topic you talked about. Not talked about anywhere on YouTube, I don't think. Probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, buy signal you can get for Bitcoin, especially in the long term right now. This should be a pretty fun episode. So make sure you guys stay all the way to the end. It's going to be good.
Yes, exactly. And then we did do a video today, a collaborative video, and we did one video on your channel. So please subscribe to his channel, links in the description below, and check out that video. So without further ado, Patrick. I'm so used to doing this with Chris, right? Patrick, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do at your YouTube channel?
On my YouTube channel, we talk about technical analysis. We go over some news, but I think highlighting right now, people are interested in technical analysis. We go over some potential trade opportunities here and there, but I do save most of that for obviously the trade group that I told you about. Yeah, it's mainly just technical analysis, news. That's the YouTube channel.
Yes, I know. I'm subscribed to the channel. I love your content, right? I appreciate different advice, different outlooks on how the Bitcoin price is going to go, because everybody has different ideas of where they think the price is going to go. I mean, you've mentioned me many times in your videos. Like, for example, I believed Ethereum was going to head to $400. Didn't quite make it there. Went to 360.
I mean, from the time you said to buy in, I think people should be more than happy with 360.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but you had a different trading strategy. You wanted to take profit sooner, and that was a much better idea. So that gives you an idea of how Patrick trades and how Patrick thinks. And I think you should definitely check out his videos and how he trades the market. Now, with that said, do you know about what's going on with the government and Bitcoin?
I've picked up some of it. I know you have a link that you want to share people that I hadn't seen before. Blew my mind when you showed it to me, because yeah, the fact that people would come out and say some outrageous stuff and keep a straight face is pretty impressive. So
I know. I know, it's incredible. But before we could talk about that video, I want to go point out that, you know what, the government always has been lying to us, and I'm wondering, what planet do people like watch the television, hear what the government says, and go, yeah, that's true? Because I mean, it's they've been lying to us for I don't know, since they've ever been government. I mean, nobody in Russia believes anything the government says. So in the United States, everybody talks, oh yeah, that's true. The government tells me something, and that's true. And I'm like, what are you smoking? Like, let's take a look at some examples in history of what the government has said. And I want to switch over here to, let's start off with the war on poverty. Can you see that, Patrick?
Yeah.
The government has issued the war on poverty back in the 60s, and poverty won. So now we have more poor people today than we did before. They also did what in the 70s, they created a bunch of GSCs. These are government-sponsored enterprises to make housing affordable. And now housing is more expensive than ever. And on top of that, less people own houses. Oh, great job, government. The government regulations have made healthcare more expensive. They went to make healthcare back in the 60s more affordable, because, you know, government was not part of the healthcare industry back in the 60s. They decided to help us out. And now today, no one can afford medicine. Great job, government. They've also recently made health insurance premiums increase, because, you know what, they want to make the insurance a lot cheaper for us. and now it's more expensive. How is your healthcare insurance? Is it cheaper than it was before or more expensive?
Definitely more expensive.
Thank you, government. So I mean, it goes on and on. And now with Hank Paulson, I remember back in 2008, Hammer and Hank Paulson
Oh,
said
I was going to
that
talk about this one if you didn't. Yeah.
back he said that our financial what it is says, Chris, I got great confidence in our financial markets. Our financial institutions, our markets are resilient. They're flexible. Our institutions, our banks, our investments are strong. I mean, this is before the financial crisis,
A
before
few
the
months
whole
before.
thing collapsed. Do you
Uh,
remember that?
yeah, it was like a few months before I saw the interview where they were saying like, "Oh no, we're good for years to come."
Exactly, exactly. And so today, now we have we have the Mnuchin, the latest proposed secretary of sorry, the secretary, treasury secretary, coming out and saying that, you know what, the dollar's not used for money laundering. You know, this link will be in the description below because you know what, it's incredible. You have to watch this because I'm not going to display the whole thing on my channel because I don't want to get any kind of copyright strike. With that being said, it's clear that the government doesn't want us to buy Bitcoins. And when the government doesn't want us to do something, it means it's probably good for us. Because we've shown that the government has been lying to us over throughout the history. And so I'm not saying that Bitcoins is not going to go down, because generally when this happens, the government has a lot of power and a lot of push, so they're going to try to push the price down. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy at this price. You should at least start dollar cost averaging. What do you think, Patrick?
I mean, I agree. Yeah, dollar cost averaging, proven time and time again. There's a reason why everybody, like all the big successful investors, do it. Is because you're not going to time the market. You know, like me, you, whoever it is, we're not going to time the exact time to buy the market. We don't know exactly what's going to happen because this news can come out today, and then tomorrow we can get news completely different. Something good happens and everything goes up, right? So the only way to be safe in order, like in your investment, is the dollar cost average, and that means you have to be okay with understanding that cryptocurrency, like any other investment, is an investment. You're not going to get rich tomorrow or the day after, probably not tomorrow or the day after. So you have to be okay with the idea of, in a bear market, I will dollar cost average. It's going to be red, but I'm going to dollar cost average now for when we enter the bull market, things will look a lot better. But you have to understand the different cycles and know that things aren't going to be green during a bear market. It's just not going to happen. And what you were talking about before how they said that the dollar is not used for money laundering. I talked about this, and I think it was the last video as well that I put on my channel. I believe like they came out with a graph. I don't know how they found it out, but for every dollar of Bitcoin spent on the dark net, right, there's $800 worth of fiat used in money laundering. So I'm just like, okay, which one's really used for money laundering here, right? Like it's like people have been doing corrupt things for like decades, probably
Exactly.
centuries. It's not Bitcoin that's making it. It's not Bitcoin that's being like, oh, now look, the cocaine industry because of Bitcoin. No, everyone's been using cash.
Exactly. So, I mean, if the government told you that, hey, nothing's wrong with the dollar's strong, what would you do? Would you go to continue buying more dollars or?
I mean, like, we talked about 2008. We talked about it's just every time they have get an opportunity to keep people. So, and the thing is, if they can say it with a straight face, say it on TV, unfortunately, most people are going to believe them. I don't know how, like you said, I don't know how people still believe them, but people are going to believe them. So they'll be like, oh, the dollar's fine, and they'll get away with a few more months, few more years of being able to trick people into thinking that everything's okay until things turn around, aren't okay. The only people that lose are the ones that believe them. The government's not going to lose. They can control whatever they want. This is the people that believe them are going to lose.
That's so true. That's so true. So I'm curious. I'm sorry. I would like to know more about how did you get into the crypto and Bitcoin space?
How did I get in? I think most, like, similar to most people. I think somebody told me about it. Somebody told me about it earlier, and I should have gotten in then. I should have gotten in then, but I'm not mad that I didn't, because the reason I didn't was because I didn't research it. right? So I only got in after I researched it. I paid a premium for that, but I'm happy and I'm okay with the thought that I didn't buy in because I didn't blindly get into something. I'd rather do my research. And then I got into it. And when I started doing my research, I'm pretty sure your story is very similar. You started to pick up on some things. You started to think that things that weren't possible are now possible. You know, I know you talked about double spending, stuff like that. You started to be like, okay, this is pretty interesting. And then, yeah, from there, things just kind of happened.
Yeah. So what was that time frame? Like, was that 2017 to
Early,
2016?
I think I heard about it early 2016. I think I first bought in early 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. So you rode the wave all the way to 20K.
Oh
That
yeah,
was that was amazing, wasn't it? Time,
that
wasn't
was
it?
great. I mean, it was what everyone thought it was. Yeah, it was like basically what everyone thought it was. You just sat there and watched every day. Like I think about Bitcoin went up $1,000 or $2,000 towards the end. It was just like, and like I went to sleep at 10K, I wake up at 15K, and I'm just like, okay,
I know.
I can.
2017, all you had to do was hit the buy button.
Yeah,
Right.
as long as you click the green buy button, you made profit.
Those were great times, great times. And I look forward to those great times again because we'll definitely see them again because Bitcoins is an asset that's limited as well. It's not just it solved a technically impossible problem of being able to send a digital asset to somebody else, but also it made itself limited because Satoshi could have made it could have created it with an inflationary cycle, constantly producing more bitcoins, but he didn't. He made it very limited, and that is huge. So that means it's like a collectible, like the Mona Lisa. The price is going to be is going to go up forever and ever because there's only one of them. The same with bitcoins. There's only 24, 20. There are only going to be 21 million of them, and actually a lot of them have been lost. Approximately about 4 million of them are possibly lost forever. So really, there's there's
Like,
going to be less and less.
like it's almost a fourth.
Exactly, exactly. There's going to be less and less as time goes on because people are going to lose their keys, lose their bitcoins, and really subsidize the rest of us. So I look forward to the insane prices that Bitcoin is going to make in the future. Don't you?
I agree. I mean, it comes down against what we're talking about, like short-term thinking of people, which is insane to me because I know in like the last bear market, people thought it was over for Bitcoin. Bitcoin was never going to have a next bull market. It had a next bull. The one before that, people thought that was the only cycle. There wasn't going to be a cycle after that. And a cycle came after that again. So it's, yeah. I mean, like, not only does Bitcoin go in cycle, I guess human psychology works in cycles too, where when things are down, they think it's over, it's never going to have another cycle, and then here comes another cycle.
Yes, yes. And it's interesting how the cycles are like every 4 years because of the happening, really, because Bitcoin gets cut in half, and so there's less into the market. And so you see that, hey, this thing is going to go crazy. I mean, so what are the net? What are the? This is not an absolute, obviously. This is not. You can't say, oh yes, for sure, this is going to work out, and this is going to be 100%. So what are some of the things that you see that could possibly be a risk in the market?
I think the biggest, like, just big picture risk that the market has is getting people to realize the problems that go on today and how it could be solved by maybe looking at a cryptocurrency, right? Like, I think the big one to me that always stands out that I don't get how people don't understand is inflation. Like, I don't know how people don't realize that you put your money in a savings account. When you retire, if you put $1 million in when you're 20, when you retire, that $1 million isn't going to do what $1 million did when you put it in, right? Now that inflation is pretty much solved if you have something that you can't print more of, right? So in that sense, it would make more sense for you to put something aside that doesn't keep printing out more and more every single day. But I think the biggest trouble that we're going to have is people realizing that inflation is a problem and caring enough at the moment to try and fix it before it's too late.
Yeah, that's a risk to like us being the only ones that are holding bitcoins when it's going up like crazy in a hyperinflationary event, right? Nobody's going to be selling their bitcoins in that event.
Yeah.
Um, But my thing is, I believe the only risk I could see with Bitcoins right now is if there's a technical flaw in the cryptography. I don't see one because it uses two separate cryptography methods. One is the public key, private key method for basically signing over the transaction to another person, and then another hashing method in order to hide your public key in your address that you send to somebody in order to send to your account. Now, if someone they can only break one or the other. You can't break both because they're just too large of an encryption. One is a hash and the other one's encryption. So in order for us to see a huge collapse in Bitcoin, we have to see both encryptions, both the hash and the hashing algorithm and the public key private key algorithm broken. If the public key private key algorithm is broken and you've sent Bitcoins to an address that you've never used before, no one knows your public key. And because they have any kind of encryption, in order for it to be broke, you need to find the private key. And the only way to find the private key is if you had the public key. And because the public key is hidden, it's clearly you have to break both the hashing algorithm and at the same time, and that's just not likely.
Yeah.
That is my only thing I see as a problem, and it's just the probability is so low that I mean you might as well hope an asteroid to destroy the planet.
Now that would end Bitcoin right there. If an asteroid came in and wiped out all humans, we can't use Bitcoin anymore.
Exactly.
The price goes to zero. There's no more demand.
Exactly. So effectively, the odds of a planet-killing asteroid hitting our Earth is has a higher probability than somebody breaking both the hashing algorithm and the encryption algorithm.
All right, so if anything happens, we're dead, so it's okay.
Exactly.
Problem then.
Yeah. Well, it's been great talking to you, Patrick. You know, I hope to have you on my show again. I hope to be on your channel again. So is there anything else you'd like to let my viewers know?
Well, yeah, obviously we talked about this before, so I do run a trade alert group, which is I post every single one of the trades that I'm in. I don't post any trades that I'm not in, so everything in there is exactly what brought me to my portfolio right now and the exact method and steps that I took to get to the portfolio right now. So you can copy and paste it. It takes like 2 or 3 minutes to set up, very beginner friendly. After that, profits are taken automatically for you, and I show you exactly how all of that works. So it's a fun way for us to have a little more fun with crypto. I know people can't keep their eyes away from the charts, even if you're not trading. So you might as well have some fun with it and try and make some profit along the way. So hopefully I'll see you guys there.
Link in the description below. And thank you everyone for watching my video. Bye now.
Bye everyone.